Dr. Christina Chester, and welcome again to our MCPS video series, Waymaking. Our goal is to help families make their way through many of the emotional challenges we are faced with today. I have with me today Catherine Lalonde, who is an MCPS alumni and co-creator of the MCPS Stronger Student app. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let's get into it. So my first question goes into what was your motivation for developing the app for MCPS students?
So Annika Seth, the co-creator of the app, and I, when we were students at Blair, we worked on our student newspaper, Silver Chips, and we covered sexual harassment, assault, and abuse through the stories that we wrote. And from our coverage, we noticed that there was not a lot of kind of cohesive support for students to deal with the issues that they were struggling with from sexual harassment. And so we really decided to create the app to streamline resources so that students could access all of the information that they needed about Title IX and mental health support in one place.
No, that's great. And being able to come back and give back to our community is really to be commended. And so, I really want to thank you and Annika for all of your work for this. And so then my next question then goes into, so what kinds and types of information can people find on the app?
So it has lots of really great resources for students. So first off, students can actually report an incident of bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault, abuse, any form like that through our confidential online reporting form. It's the MCPS reporting form. It's just an online version, so they can report that through the app. Secondly, we have access to a plethora of external resources for mental health support and survivor support at the MCPS level, the state level, as well as the national level. And then lastly, we have sections on the app that kind of provide what I would call explanatory resources for what Title IX is, what MCPS's policy for bullying, harassment, and assault is, and how the reporting process for those systems work. So how do you report an incident of bullying? And then what's that process going to be like once you've reported that?
No, and that's a great way of having another resource available for students to report these kinds of issues. Because I mean, we understand that going in, sometimes filling out the paper form and turning in, some students may not feel comfortable with that, but being able to just quickly go onto their phone, fill out the information and send it in, and it goes to an MCPS staff member to start that investigation is great. It's just another way, another resource for students to report when these types of incidents are going on. And so my next question did gets into, because the app is great and we want students to have access to this. So if a student or a family member is interested in using the app, so where can they go to download it on their phone?
So the app is completely free. And so you can access it on iOS or Android for free. So through the iPhone App Store or the Android Google Play Store. And you just have to search up MCPS Stronger Student in order to find it.
Great. I really hope that everybody will go and download it. And so my last question is, so do you have any suggestions or feedback for families and students to help them to stay resilient during this time?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For me, whenever I'm struggling with my mental health, I think everybody does. Utilizing the resources that you have at your disposal is really important. So, for me, journaling is a really helpful tool to write down your thoughts and reflect on why you're feeling the way that you are. And also, like I think, oftentimes talking out issues that you're struggling with trusted friends, peers, or adults in your life can really help you sort out your thoughts and feelings, because having somebody else's perspective and somebody to confide in about those issues is really important.
No, yes, and talking to friends and family and pulling out that journal to go and write out some of your feelings. As a psychologist, I know those are great ways of going around and trying to help, to get your feelings out there and start processing things that are going on in your life. So, you know, We're at the end, so I do want to thank you, Catherine, for your time to be with us today. And we want to thank our viewers for joining us for Waymaking. To send us additional questions and topics to discuss on the show, please visit the link on your screen. Also, please go to our YouTube playlist to find additional shows in our series. And please join us next time on MCPS Waymaking.